Once you have completed your shorts and applied any sanding that you plan to apply to your shorts to distress them, you will need to add the top stitching that runs along the side seam here. This top stitching will run from the waistband down the side seam, catching the seam allowance in the seam. It will be placed on the back portion of the shorts piece to the bottom of the pocket, and it is there that you will place a bar tack. Once you have top stitched both side seams, you will need to hem your shorts in your desired hemming technique. If you wish to finish off the end with a serger to enclose the raw seam, fold up once and again for a clean finish like that. I prefer to trim my shorts to the desired length, wash to allow for fraying, and fold up once. If you are folding up, I recommend that you press your seam allowance on your side seam open so that it looks like this. On my jeans, I prefer to use a little bit of Stitch Witchery, which is a permanent, fusible fabric glue. I don't place it around the entire perimeter of the hem. I simply cut off 1 to 2 inch pieces, slide it behind and hem, leave a space open, put another 2 inch piece over here so that it doesn't reduce the stretch of the opening of the shorts, which adds to their comfort. It just simply helps hold the hem in place so that when you sit down in a chair or move around, the hem remains stable. If you wish to fold under and hem, the hem allowance is fold under 5/8 of an inch, press, fold under another 5/8 of an inch, and top stitch. Remember, if you are top stitching your hem and then planning on folding it up, that you use a thread in your bobbin that is attractive and one that you would want visible. Okay, so now we are going to attach our hardware. I'm going to start with the button. I have a jean button here, and it is simply made up of 2 pieces, the button and the screw. You do not need any additional hardware other than a hammer with which to attach this. I do use a block of wood behind to help protect my surface. So I have marked on my denim, I tried them on, I zipped and pulled it closed and found placement for my button. I am now going to go behind and press the screw up from behind. It is very sharp, so you just wiggle it back and forth and it has pressed through. I place my wood behind to protect my surface, line up your button on top of the screw, and simply hammer it down. And it is now attached. And it is as easy as that. We are now going to install a rivet. I am using double cap rivets, Dritz brand, that I picked up at Joann's. Each rivet consists of 2 pieces, a male and a female end. They look identical on the cap end, but one has a prong and one has an opening. You will also need the double cap rivet tool. It comes with 2 rods. You only need the thicker rod. You will need the placement cap as well. Now, in order to make a hole for your rivet, for the prong to go through, let's talk about placement real quick. The places on your denim where you place the rivets, it's a personal preference. Generally, you will put one on each front pocket at the top, just below the waistband, and also along the side seam on both pockets. I often place 1 or 2 on the top of the coin pockets. That is a personal preference. And I often place them on the top of my back pockets as the patch pockets as well. So we are going to place one here at the top of the pocket. Now I will be showing you how to make your placement hole using a nail. You can use a sharp screw. I have used this screw when I couldn't find my nail. We have a lot more screws in the house than we have nails. In the beginning, I didn't use any hardware. I simply used my seam ripper. So if you don't have a screw or nail on hand, you can simply poke a hole with your seam ripper and be very careful not to create a slice, but simply wiggle it around to create that hole. You can also use an awl, which is the professional tool to use for creating a hole. So I'm going to place my rivet placement in between my two lines of top stitching below the waistband right here. I'm going to place the piece of wood behind to protect my surface, ensure that the pocket is flat, place my nail, hammer in, pull it back out, and I now have the hole for my rivet. I'm going to take the rivet piece with the prong and push it down through the hole that I have made. You want to press the pronged rivet into the hole until the back of the prong pops out the back of the fabric. You will then grab the inverted end of your cap and place it over the prong. It is this end that you will be hammering. So you take your placement cap, place it on the pronged end, center it, secure it down on the table. So now you grab the rod. You can see that it has a curved end. You want to place the curved end over your rivet to protect the curve and simply hammer in place. And it is as simple as that. And you now have your rivet installed. All right, I'm just going to level with you here. I don't want to show you a technique and make it look easy if it isn't. I just installed this rivet on this corner of the coin pocket. The coin pocket is much thicker than any other area on your denim. And so I had trouble getting the rivet to go all the way through with the denim on this area. And so what I opted to do after much struggle was simply pull away the pocket here, place my rivet cap only through the pocket, and I'm going to go back with a indigo thread, and I'm going to hand stitch this corner of the pocket down to adhere it really well. So if you do run into an area on your coin pocket, perhaps even on your back pocket, if you wanted to put the rivet there where you're able to get the other end of the rivet, then perhaps you needn't go through all the layers if you're struggling with that. Just going to quickly show you that method where you are placing the rivet through less layers of fabric. So I have my coin pocket here. I want the two rivets to be symmetrical, so I find where the placement that I want the other rivet on top of the fabric. Place my nail there and wiggle it through the back till it pops out the back. And you can see that it is within the pocket. Simply wiggle it around to enlarge the hole just a bit. Grab your pronged rivet and insert your pronged rivet right into that hole. Wiggle it around until you see it pop out the back. Once it has popped out the back, you can place the pronged rivet against the cap, place the other female rivet atop, it's a little awkward. Ensure that it's placed firmly on the cap. Grab your rod with the curved end and place over the rivet and hammer well. And you can see that you have that nice rivet look on your coin pocket.